Ramblin man here. Got a question for you. What are we doing, America? What are we doing? The reason I say that is we have all these, there's propaganda being spewed everywhere, right? It's true. Everywhere you go, there's stuff being pushed around that people want you to know about, whether you realize it or not. I mean, you spend hours and hours watching ads flow across in front of you. What are we teaching our kids? Well, let's think about this. Kellogg's cereal, well, Kellogg's put out a cereal that is called Together or something like that, right? And it promotes LGBTQ. No he, she. It's a there, they. It's ridiculous. Check it out. Just go online and check it out. That's not what this video is even about. It's just I just noticed that right before I got on here. And why? If you think about it, every show, every movie, everyone has, I would call it, a token gay man or gay woman, token gay person. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that if your movie happens to be about a gay person, great. But why do you have to have one? Did you know that so there's different movies. There was one movie and it was primarily about black gangs and something else. I'm trying to remember what movie it was because my memory fails me right now. But they were required to have a white person in the movie. Why? If it's about a certain culture, why would you be required to have one? Because they wanted to make sure diversity is there. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody's so worried about being politically correct that they do stupid things. You shouldn't have to worry about a white person being in a movie. Oh, the Black Panther. So the Black Panther was primarily about that tribe and everything, right? And Bozeman is the Black Panther and all that. Well, they had to have a white person in that movie as one of the main characters. Are you freaking kidding me? Why? That's so stupid. It's like why you have to, if there is a ad that's on TV, if you just have a black and white person, but say you leave an Asian out or you leave a Latino out, oh, shame on us because we didn't put everybody in there. Guys, it's inclusion does not mean inclusion to the point of it's one of those things that you're making. I mean, it loses its value if you're only in something because of affirmative action. Let's be honest. When you're talking about people getting into, like someone brought up the other day, one of my subscribers brought up the fact about affirmative action, causing scores to go down when it comes to the bar exam. And that's actually true because what's happening is if people are getting into law school, those that are not quite as qualified, just because they are a person of color, they have to pass a certain amount of them have to be admitted to school to hit a quota. Hence affirmative action. And by doing so, someone that might be more qualified doesn't get in. And so with that happening, when these people take a test and you have 3 out of 5 of the people of color do great, pass the bar exam, but the 2 that really weren't supposed to be in the first place, but they got in by the skin of their teeth because of affirmative action, now they're failing, right? So they're not passing the bar the first time. And it's one of those things that because, honestly, I think someone should be judged based solely off of their abilities. If they're smart enough, they have the skills, they have what it takes, they should be the person that gets wherever they're trying to get to. But to go through and not get something or get something just because of your skin color or your gender or regardless anything, If it's just because, I mean, I myself do not want to get something just because, hey, I made it in because I'm a man. You know, it's like if back in the day, you know, that most nurses were women, and I'm sure it was that way where they felt like we have to let some men in or it's going to be discriminatory, right? Why would you want to be that guy that got in because you happen to be the one or two that had to be let in so it wouldn't be discriminated against? Some of you have no shame. You're like, oh, I'm good with that. But I'm telling you, for me, if I did not hack it, if I couldn't hack it and I didn't have the scores, I didn't have what needed to be there for me to be in that position, I don't want it. It's like when you're playing against someone and you know they're good. If you beat them fair and square, you feel great because you put your best foot forward and you won. But if they let you win, nothing pisses you off more than like, why do you let me win? Same difference. All these different things that we're having to do because of the fact that you have to have your token male, token female, token gay person, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. There's always that one person you have to have because otherwise you are deemed politically incorrect or you're not diverse, and they'll label you a racist for no reason. They will put things like, oh, you're homophobic, you're all kind of, when that has nothing to do with the fact that maybe the story that's your movie or what you're doing has nothing based off of those facts and those things that you're doing just doesn't fit what you're looking for. Is there racism? Yes, there is. But is it as prevalent and as bad as people think, as the government makes it? No, there's not. Now, the reason I started off on this rant, I just started off talking about the cereal, right? The LGBTQ cereal that Kellogg put out. What I wanted to bring to your attention also, though, within that, you have our military. You have China's military ads, you have Russia's military ads, and you have the U.S. military ads. China and Russia both they show these strong soldiers. They're going through training. You know, they look muscled up. They're showing strength and power. And then you have the U.S. of A. And the U.S. will tell you that we're trying to appeal to all walks of life. Let me just tell you, the Army is not one of those things that we're looking like, you know what? We just really want to have inclusion. I don't care when I'm in Foxhole, the guy next to me, I don't care that, you know what? If he's gay, great. Whatever. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me, though, is if he's not qualified to be in that foxhole because he wants to be there because, oh, it looks so nice. I can make my family proud. But what are you really there for? Are you there just to make someone happy? Or are you there because you want to serve your country? You're willing to give your life for your brother, the person sitting next to you, regardless if they're straight, gay, black, white, does not matter. Are you willing to give your life for that person? And I'm telling you right now, when I was in the Army, you have people that you don't get along with. But I'll tell you what, when shit hits the fan, that's the best way to put it. When it hits the fan, you have to know that all that's out the door. All I see next to me is an American that I'm willing to give my life for, even if I have a disagreement with this person. And they might not be the best person that I would hang out with every day. But when I see that uniform, I know who I'm sitting next to. I would die for that guy or girl. I would die for them. Brothers and sisters, I would die for. I'm just telling you, is the person that we're trying to get in the military someone that we want inclusion from? Or are we trying to get someone that we want to go in there because they're like, you know what? I want to be the best of the best. I want to be all I can be. I want to be an army of one. I want to be that person. I want to be what the Russians look like, what the Chinese look like when they're all strength and dignified and they're in unison and they look like a complete unit. Or am I okay being the, you know what? I was an immigrant, but now I'm a citizen. I'm so happy to be here, and I joined our U.S. Army because I want to be great. And I do marches with my moms because I wanted to show that it was okay that for both my moms to be married. And now I want to be in the Army. Okay, that's great and all, but why is that the ad we're putting out there? We're like, you know what? All it says, if they want all walks of life, they're going to get that, all right. But you're not going to have an army. You're going to have a body of people, an embodiment of people. That's all it is. You can get that at a church. You need people that are willing to risk their lives for another human being sitting next to them, whether they like them or not, just because they are American. You don't need someone, you know what? I'm really proud of you for marching in marches so your two moms can be married and you're proud of them. You don't. If that's what we're looking for, we're in sad shape, because the one thing that the U.S. has over other countries is we have the largest Air Force presence. We have the most airplanes. Okay? Most fighters, we have more, almost twice as many as everyone else when you look at each country. But beyond that, what we've done is we've cut back funding. So now what we have is you have like Russia and China, and these are not rich countries, but these countries are putting a lot of money and a lot of time into building their military. So as they get stronger, we're not quite the powerhouse we used to be. We're not the, U.S. is still considered a superpower, but we're not the superpower. And at one time, 20 years ago even, we were considered the best of the best. We were the most powerful in the world. We're no longer that way. And it's a sad thing, because what it's shown is that we're getting weaker. And not all Americans, but we need to get back to making our men again. And if we're going to run an ad for the military, it shouldn't be about, well, we want to include everybody. Are you freaking kidding me? What you want to do is you put on there, this is what you're going to go through. This is how you build a strong army. These are the men and women we're looking for. And if it appeals to them, doesn't matter what walk of life you are. If you're a gay man or a gay woman, or if you're a person that is homeless, or if you're a person that is for lack of a better word, a nerd or a brainiac, if that lifestyle from that ad appeals to you, you will go seek it out. You don't change up what you're looking for in the Army to meet the needs of those and make it as something like, come on guys, let's just have a big old party. We'll have a good time. We'll have a barbecue. Because that's not what the military is about. It's a brotherhood. You have a lot of camaraderie, right? But you also, you have to know that at any moment you're choosing to give up your life, because the government owns you at that point. You're choosing to give up your life and your livelihood because your family may be back home and you may be somewhere else for a year or more. But you're willing to do that because that is the life you chose. Not because you made it look like roses and like, oh great, we have pom-poms and having a good old time. It's time for us to change things. It's time for us to get off our butts, move away from pussyfooting around and being pansies. Let's be honest. As the rest of the world gets stronger, we look weaker. We have a commander-in-chief that, for all intents and purposes, is non-existent. No one respects him across other countries. And if you think so, let me know in the comments. Please tell me who respects him. Because Putin's going to meet with him, and that's going to be just I can't even imagine how that's going to go. Because the fact that he's not going to have his teleprompter to talk to Putin. Can you imagine? And the other part of that, a lot of times he doesn't know where he's at even. And he talks about all the good relationship he has with the Chinese prime minister or whatever he is, right? And then you have North Korea. They think he's a fluke. I mean, he's a fluke. They're like, come on, this guy's ridiculous. So, if you ask me, we're the weakest we've ever been. And it's really sad because for such a superpower to go down so fast, it's really sad. So y'all tell me what you think. I'm just curious. Just ranting a little bit here today. I'm sorry I was all over the place, but I hope it makes sense to you. That I hope you stayed around to watch this part of it, because the second half is probably the best part. Y'all have a great day. Ramblin' Man out.